Hey, how is everyone doing? Live at 2 p.m. Eastern right now. Probably just this week's a little messed up because I have doctor's appointments and stuff like that in the mornings. But should be back on the regular schedule next week. So what day is it even? Wednesday? Wednesday? Shout out Wednesday, July 8th. How's the knee? Knee is it got better like over the weekend. Almost every day it got better like by 10% or something like that. And then for whatever reason yesterday it kind of plateaued. So I don't know. Staying positive. Yeah, so we got some Karmelo Anthony news. We've got some Tyler Robinson news. We've got a new race hoax. Race war. Where's my double calf coffee, man? On the way. Race hoax, race facts. No, yeah, this is wild. Let's get on with this here. Oh, it's laid on Amazon. It's because everything's getting checked in. Whatever date it says on Amazon, it's going to come much quicker than that. That's what she said. It's just they're checking it all in. I just sent like a massive shipment there like late last week. So it should be. The good news is everything is going to be hella fresh now that you guys get. Not that it wasn't before, but let's get into the news here. So we've got a bit of a Karmelo Anthony update. In fact, his new defense team has rolled out their plan to get Karmelo released from prison. On top of that, more people going after Jeff Metcalf. We've got quite a bit of updates on Karmelo Anthony. There was a nearly 200-page document that was sent to try and get the judge that presided over the case that convicted Karmelo Anthony, rightfully, of taking the life of Austin Metcalf, removed from the case. That's just how desperate they are. So let's get into it. There's a couple mini updates at the front side of this video, and then the new filing from his defense team coming up in this video too. Just as a fun update, Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, has received a cease and desist letter directing him to stop using the term watermelon felon. Now, I think he said that word one time ever, and for people who understand, he was not using it with hate in his heart. He was saying the context that got removed from that phrase was something like, hey, they're going to call me all sorts of stuff on the internet. And so what if I just said this? There's a clip for you, kind of thing. Now, I guess thankfully he didn't say the danger word. That would have been very bad. But now he's getting sued. The term is copyrighted and patented, valued at $100 million in pure 0.999 pure silver, and owned in a foreign trust, apparently. Well, he got this letter, and this is what he decided to do with it.
Well, it looks like I have a cease and desist order for the watermelon felon. It says there is lyrics to the song, and this is what's funny. It's not even written from an attorney, but from Cityside Records. So this is what I think about.
By the way, I have an update that I am just literally bursting at the seams, literally and figuratively, to share with you. But I can't just yet. There's going to be some big news. I have been in contact. I have made some connections for some people. There may be something to announce soon, but we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out.
About the cease and desist that has been sent to me. And as you can see, you're welcome to do whatever you think you need to do. If you think I'm the one that's violating some sort of record you have for it. So I'm just going to put it right in here with the rest of the ashes.
So, I mean, that's just kind of a light update. Obviously, interestingly, though, someone did apply for that term as of June 12th. Imagine it'll be tough for them to prosecute. No, he doesn't own it. Then Jeff went on to talk about what's going on with the Tyler Robinson case right now. I thought that was interesting. It seems like he's getting more and more connected kind of with TPUSA, which I think is good. I still believe TPUSA is and was one of the most valuable tools in getting Trump elected. So maybe that's why some people hate it, because they're mad at Trump right now. Understandably, there's some reasons why maybe people are. But I like TPUSA. I think they do great work. I think they lead with faith, which is, I think, extremely important, and it is a admirable mission. If you don't like who runs it, I guess, okay, fine. But I happen to think Erica Kirk is a nice woman, and not deserving of any of this insane criticism she's had. But he had this to say leading into the trial. And by the way, we're going to talk about their new legal filing right after this.
This is what happened when Erica stood up there and said she forgave him. That was the same exact thing I did. And my phone started blowing up because they're like, oh my God, you know, she just forgave him just like you. And I said, people don't understand forgiveness is for me. So I don't carry hate, anger, revenge in that inside of me. You have to let that go and rely on your faith, because it says vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You really need to learn how to let that go so you don't carry it around, so it won't eat you up like cancer.
He's 100% right. Now, he did take a lot of flack when he initially said that. But, I think that ultimately he's right, that carrying like this animosity towards people does eat you up like a cancer. And I think sometimes it actually turns into other, I know that's a little more like, let me get my liberal crystals out here. But I do think that there is this thing that happens to people who carry an immense amount of hate. And I think that manifests and it can metastasize into other things. And, ultimately, it's just not a good thing. And it looks like he is now perhaps, joining TPUSA to help continue Charlie's journey and sharing the good word. I think Jeff is a good man, a good Christian man. Maybe he isn't a perfect man. I'll see if I can get him on the show here. I know he's basically done all the massive shows out there. So now that I have a direct line of connection, I'll see if he wants to come on, perhaps make an announcement on the show. That would be fun. But we'll have to see how that shakes out. The thing is, he also had this to say, which I thought was really very, very, Christian of him to say. And I do believe him when he says it.
You always want to protect your kids. And, the stuff online, and let me say this up front. This goes for both sides, not just my side. I want to make this perfectly clear. The stuff that's going on online, the memes, the pictures, the vile comments, look, they come from the far right too, with pictures of Karmelo saying very vile things that are going to happen to him in prison. I don't condone that. That is not who you need to be. Stop it, please. These are two kids. One's dead, and the other one's in prison. So there's no good outcome. There's nothing good about it. And making memes and derogatory remarks on dead children or imprisoned children, I'm sorry. You need to check yourself. You need to really look in the mirror and go, wow, who am I? What kind of person am I? And
no, I'm not going to police memes. Okay, so if people want to make memes about Karmelo or whatever, I'm not going to police them. The jokes and this stuff and that, like, I don't. He's right. I'm wrong. He's a better man than me. I don't know if, forgiving somebody for saying something mean to you on the internet or something like that is very different than like forgiving somebody who did what happened to his son. But now let's lead to the new desperation move from Karmelo Anthony's team. This is from Minister Dominique Baby Shaker Alexander. Okay. The legal defense team representing Karmelo Anthony has now filed a verified motion. Doesn't matter that it's verified. He just says it's verified because he thinks that makes it more authentic, but more like a bigger clickbait thing, to remove Judge John Roach, who's the guy that presided over his hearing. And by the way, perfectly from what I've seen, there's no real complaints here, the way that Mr. Roach presided over this case. They want him removed from all remaining post-trial proceedings. The defense has also filed a motion for a brand new trial, raising constitutional and legal challenges stemming from the trial. Of course, these things were not objected to during the actual trial at any point by any of his $700,000 defense team. And they want the issues decided by an independent judge. Now, of course, he got ruthlessly ratioed here. Sarah Field saying, not going to happen. Keep on grifting, though, by all means. Lots of luck, Baby Shaker. That's responsible for 5 cops passing. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I've never heard that part. I feel bad for all the people that fall for your grift. It's funny to watch, but kind of sad, that you're a sellout. Here's the article in the Daily Mail. Outrageous new entitled request by convicted murderer Karmelo Anthony revealed as he launches a fresh bid to be freed from prison for taking the life of Austin Metcalf. Karmelo Anthony is seeking a brand new trial, but also wants a different judge to oversee any future legal proceedings in his conviction for the murder of Austin Metcalf. His defense team is now revealed. The same jury that they suddenly had a problem with, sentenced him to 35 years in prison, rejecting his claim that he acted in self-defense, which of course he did not act in self-defense. We know this. There is no shred of evidence that he acted in self-defense. His defense team's own witnesses basically testified against him, right? Now his legal team is working to overturn Anthony's conviction and has confirmed it filed a motion for a new trial. The attorneys are seeking to remove Judge John Roach, who presided over the June trial, from any future proceedings on the case. The legal defense team representing Karmelo Anthony, that's the tweet. Anthony's new legal team never bothered to explain why. Well, I have the documents, so we're going to look at why they say. They didn't explain why they want Judge Roach's removal. I'm going to guess they're going to want to say they want a black judge. That's just... that's not like a dig at black folks. I'm just saying that's basically been the nexus or the fuel for all of their asking for various, excuses after the conviction. But in a previous interview with the Daily Mail, attorney Lee Merritt, who is not a member of Anthony's legal team, but is advising the family, they have a lot of family advisors, including Charleston White, who is about to lose a defamation lawsuit against Sarah Fields to the tune of 500,000 U.S. American dollars. Hope she gets every penny. He outlined the arguments he expected will be raised by the appeal. The appeal will be based on multiple grounds. Merritt told Daily Mail in June, including whether race was a factor given that no black jurors served on the panel, whether Anthony received effective legal representation. Now, first of all, if every minority got to appeal because there weren't enough minorities, whatever that number is, on a jury, we would never have any convictions. I mean, they're minorities for a reason. There were black people in the jury pool, just not in the primary 12. And quite frankly, if some of the black folks that were interviewed were telling the truth, there was that one woman that basically said, well, I can't convict him because he's a young black man and I can't put a baby in prison. Well, why would that person deserve to be on the jury? Well, Karmelo Anthony's defense basically resided or completely hinged on racial solidarity, hoping that they would have somebody in that jury that would say, well, he's black, so I'm not going to convict. Much like the OJ trial, for example, right? The way the communities reacted to that, just, very, very different along racial lines. Now, Michael Ware, the man who leads the Texas Innocence Project that helps get inmates off death row, is part of the team, although Anthony is a client of Ware, not the Innocence Project. Anthony and Metcalf have never met before the trial. We already know what happened at the trial. We're not going to... They just fluff out their articles, rehashing everything we know. We know that... we know that everything that happened. Now, Sarah Fields went through all 193 pages of the motion for a new trial filed by Karmelo Anthony's legal team. I'm incredibly unimpressed, and if they think these are strong grounds for a new trial of a piece of beachfront property to sell them, the majority of the motion complains about the restrictions surrounding the trial itself. They gripe about there not being an overflow room and the fact that many people couldn't attend. Well, that, again, what does that have to do with the trial itself? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't have to do with the evidence. It doesn't have to do with what the jury saw, heard, and decided. It doesn't have to do with anybody who, was a part of the trial at all. Just people who could, have loud outbursts or something like that. Multiple affidavits were submitted by random self-proclaimed journalists and activists who traveled in from out of state, only to complain that they couldn't get into the courtroom. I recognize several of the names. These people were not even covering the case in the beginning. Some of them were not even there every day. And when they were there, they didn't arrive until 5 or 6 a.m. Now, remember, you had to get there very early to get into the trial. If you understand the day-to-day process of getting into a courtroom, you knew that every person was for themselves. You couldn't rely on the sheriff to hold your place in line. If you wanted in badly enough, you could get in. I'm living proof of that. I was in the courtroom every single day because I arrived at 3 a.m. and wasn't willing to give up my place in line. You had an opportunity. You just had to work for it to be one of the 27 members of the public allowed in. Wow, no bathroom breaks either. You can't, there's no, there was no and you get in. It was just first come, first serve. They also complained about seating and supposed lack of transparency regarding public access. If anything, Karmelo supporters had more opportunities than any other families of the Karmelo and Austin. Inside the courtroom were Austin's family, Karmelo's family, myself, members of the media, a few of Austin's friends, and the rest were overwhelmingly Karmelo supporters. I don't want to hear that they couldn't get inside. One affidavit also complained that a person was removed because they were hanging around the jury pool and were told they couldn't taint the jury. I told you about that day that happened. Remember, that was a woman that was filming the jury, many of us believe, probably for intimidation purposes. Another complained about being removed for not wearing appropriate clothing. Again, something the accountability culture doesn't know anything about. You're supposed to wear, they were probably wearing like a Free Karmelo t-shirt. You can't go into court wearing that. It's pretty obvious. We had that case of a lawyer, I think in New York, that wore some political t-shirt at a trial and got removed, right? Another major complaint, Senator Mike Howard, mentioning that Karmelo was a member of the chess club, and there had been an agreement not to introduce character evidence unrelated to what happened under the tent that day. Under the motion, Bill Worski considered the breach of an agreement and planned to bring up Karmelo's prior bad behavior during cross-examination. They claim this is why Karmelo ultimately chose not to testify. So, to rephrase that, they are admitting in this appeal that Karmelo has had a history of bad behavior, and they didn't want that coming up in a court. So they want a new trial? What? Well, Mike Howard, it sounds like your mistake for bringing up the chess club. Sounds like Karmelo should have been raised better. Sounds like a whole lot of boo-hooing. Not a legal basis for retrying a murder case. Pathetic excuse for a motion for a new trial. I was already convinced this case wasn't getting a new trial. After reading all 193 pages, I'm now more convinced. I mean, ultimately, we know they are not getting a new trial. The only thing that I can say definitively as an out, kind of, what might lead them to a new trial, is a general fear of the narrative that will be created. The narrative that he didn't get a new trial because he was black, blah, 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 blah. That's my biggest fear, is that he'll get a new trial because they're afraid of public backlash, which courts shouldn't be making their decisions on. 193 pages of absolute nonsense. This new trial is not going to be approved. This is a last second desperation move, and I hope he serves all 35 years. I mean, that's just the reality. That's the reality of it. There's no real it's wild, I mean, what do you all think this is how this is going to shake out? I don't think he's getting a new trial, but I am kind of on the fence about whether or not they're going to be like, well, the public backlash, something like that. They might be worried about that. I don't know. To me, there is no grounds for it. That's just my opinion, though. That's me. What do you guys think? I don't think there's any. I mean, Texas, if anything, probably going to not be interested in giving him a new trial. Not because he doesn't deserve one, but because, I'm sorry, not because of his skin color, but because he doesn't deserve one. There's not been an actual case made to get a new trial. I've seen no evidence whatsoever that would lead us to believe that he's going to get a new trial, first of all. And I've seen no evidence whatsoever that he deserves a new trial. Now, if you're one of the many thousands of people watching on the homepage of Rumble right now, please remember to click through on my name, The Quartering, and follow the channel. I go live at a wide variety of times, And I don't want you to ever miss a live stream. And speaking of Rumble, I want to give a huge shout out to Rumble Wallet. It's the only place I store crypto. So I'm really happy to give it a shout out here. And here's a word from Rumble Wallet. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today, everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. It's true. I still don't even really understand everything about it. That's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet, and I do. It takes all the complexity out and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank card and be up and running in minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. Just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. And my crypto's been doing pretty good lately, so I'm glad to have it. This next story is a little bizarro world one, a little bizarre one. Then we're going to talk about Tyler Robinson. Then we're going to talk about this new race war thing that they're trying, that the community's trying to start. I fully expect Candace Owens to get on board on this at some point. But here we go. One of the most, I know, controversial quote unquote streamers, a streamer that has basically been banned or screwed over every platform he's ever been on, goes by the name of Sneako. In my opinion, he is a fake Muslim influencer, somebody who is paid somewhere directly and or indirectly to promote this ideology to his young fans. And over the weekend, Elon Musk and others were calling for him to be deported. Now, Sneako is, of course, an American citizen. He can't be deported, but I do wonder why he doesn't choose to go over and live in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or any of these other areas that he so clearly loves. And to me, he's getting called out basically by everyone in the book, whether it's Elon, Alex Jones, or even his buddy, Andrew Tate, because he's a fraud. And, if there was a way to deport American citizens, leave a like on the video right now if he'd be on top of your list. I mean, Ilhan Omar would probably be on the top of my list. But I mean, this is a guy, right? This is a guy who's,
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Oh no! Fuck you! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
No thanks. I'm good on that. Of course, then he started his stream by playing an Islamic nasheed about jihad, which Tucker Carlson tells me there's no such thing as jihad. Even Aiden Ross, who is effectively his boss over on Kick, says, Sneako is in trouble.
No religion should ever force someone to join, you know what I mean? But I feel like he has to, bro. He's so deep in this rabbit hole, he has to just do it, But I always have love for him, bro. He's clip farming. I just think he's just going in that rabbit hole. I would say America as a country is a Christian country. Well, it was at one point, correct? Can we all agree?
Yeah, it is and should always be. Just so we're clear.
Agree? So, who are people to come in and this is a Jew saying this. Who are people to come in and we respect religions, but I just think like someone saying something like America, it needs to be all Islam. And just, I don't know, dude. Like, listen, like, it's just, dude.
No. I don't want any Islam here, by the way. Elon Musk has called for the deportation of Islamic streamer Sneako after Sneako was on video 4th of July weekend calling for an Islamic takeover of the U.S. and for every household in America to become Muslim. A couple months ago, I raised my concerns when Sneako said he had a direct line to Nikita Beer, who works at X, and that he was an X streamer. I showed X how Sneako regularly promotes these people, and I'm glad to see their eyes have been open. I'm so grateful that Elon Musk has spoken out about the threat of this ideology, and I'm grateful for Nikita has started to crack down by demonetizing foreign accounts that are pretending to be American to divide America. We need to see a crackdown on X on the promotion of this ideology. I agree with, by the way, the crackdown on. I don't want to see any of it on my X feed. Yes, freedom of speech. Okay, fine. You should be able to allowed to see it. I just don't. You should be allowed to say it. I just don't want to see it. Okay, let me be I guess, more clear about it. You know, the two biggest offenders are Sneako and Hassan Piker. Additionally, we need to put pressure on Kik, whose CEO is Iranian. What type of Iranian CEO who claims to have family that fled Iran tolerates this pro-IRGC poison on their platform? Are you kidding me? Why does Kik pay Sneako nearly $200,000 per month to poison the minds of young men? Well, why does Kik... Look, I don't think he should be deplatformed, okay? I think the best thing to do would be to, counter his opinions. But this is the guy that is promoted.
Hey, Nikita, I'm on stream.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Did you get this figured out?
Yeah, I think everything's figured out, so...
He's probably, by the way, this is a guy, well, I can't say, but he has he's not been a good businessman, I'll say that, with the platforms that have worked with him. And if X wants more information on that, I'm happy to provide it, but I guess I can't put it out there publicly like that.
Hey, Nikita, I'm on stream.
So he's deeply connected at X.
Yeah, I think everything's figured out, so is there a chance we could save Twitter, X communities?
Yeah, we can talk about it, but I'm glad you're trying to stream. This is awesome.
Again, on the whole deplatforming thing, as long as he's within terms of service, I don't agree with that. I don't think he should be deplatformed. But I do think it's important that people understand who these people are and who's paying them, and exactly what their goal is. Their goal is to spread a dangerous ideology and poison the minds of young men in this country. This is him having an absolute meltdown. This is one of the most bizarre retorts to Elon Musk asking for him to be deported that I've ever seen. I don't know what it is between Hassan and Sneako. Now they think they can go buy a suit and suddenly their opinions mean more. Hassan himself has admitted that he wears a suit as a propaganda tool so that when the people play his clips on other news networks making fun of him or challenging his ideas, people see the suit and they think, oh, well, this guy's smart. On top of that, I guess it's probably a tried and true. It's the same way that Americans fall for these British accent people. I won't name names, but there are a lot of UK people who have a lot to say about America and have never even been here, aren't citizens here. And I love people in the UK. I love my UK viewers, and it's just the same way, my UK viewers probably don't want me telling them how the UK should be run. I think we probably agree on, immigration, but, ultimately, I don't think that they want to hear from me about that. That's why when I hear these smarmy Brits talking about, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment here, I don't want to hear it. But he absolutely melts down.
Elon Musk is an African migrant calling for me to get deported.
He can stay. He can stay. Elon can stay.
Born in New York City, a couple blocks from where I live now. Where would I go?
Saudi Arabia?
Where are you going to deport me? I'm born
Afghanistan?
here. This is my country.
It's not.
You can't take me anywhere. I'm exercising my right to my First Amendment, my right for free speech, my right to practice my religion. The real American position.
By the way, it's my opinion. You can let me know in the comments. This freedom of religion thing, and I know it's a slippery slope because the left will often say, well, the Second Amendment was written before modern day weapons. I'm making the same argument here, but I think I can make this argument better. The freedom of religion was basically, if I'm remembering this right, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'll probably mix up these two. But the freedom of religion was not about allowing Islam to flood into America. it was basically to keep Protestants and Catholics from battling or something like that at the time, both believers in Christ. At the time, freedom of religion was not about allowing Islam into America. It never was. And I get it. Maybe it's not the best argument because, again, like I said, people on the left will often make this similar argument about about 2A. But I think we can talk about 2A ages with the times. So at the time 2A was written, it was to defend yourself from government tyranny. So whatever weapons the government had, you should be able to own the same ones. The government has better weapons now, so we should be able to have better weapons now. With the freedom of religion, I'm pretty sure it wasn't about the Quran. I can be pretty sure. I can be pretty sure that freedom of religion was never about allowing Islam into America. More like we won't have a state-sponsored religion like the Church of England. Things like that. So I'm not saying that people can't follow this fake ideology, but I'm saying I don't think that freedom of religion really applied for that.
Is saying, have free speech, have discourse, have democracy.
By the way, what does the Quran say about people who say things that disagree with the Quran? I wonder. I think I've seen a lot of heads removed from bodies from people that say things that don't go the way the Quran says they should go.
See, they don't want it. They're saying that you're threatening to take over and all this stuff. It's not a threat, because the irony is Christians say the same exact thing. Every knee will bow, every tongue confess. I love that song.
The Christians don't say that. There is religious texts that say that, but you don't see Christians in the street saying that. And even Andrew Tate came out and called him out as a LARPer.
Guys, I know everyone's giving him a hard time right now, but guys, to anyone who's ever insulted me, I'm just a guy, and I'm just here to tell the version of the story as I lived it. I'm just here to tell the truth. That's it. I'm just going to tell you some facts. A few years ago, there was a streamer, I think everybody knows who I'm talking about, who was obsessed with
Sneako.
If I got a girl's number on Fresh and Fit, he tried to do the same thing. Every single thing I did, he copied verbatim. He tried to be me, literally be me. He was obsessed with me. And I thought he just wanted to be famous, and that turned out to be a homosexual obsession.
Yeah, probably true.
He came to Romania with two people who I respect very much, Myron and Fresh, great guys. They managed to convince me to allow him to come. He came there and started acting really fruity and really weird. He started telling me that he had this cuck thing that was exposed. He had this big scandal.
I've seen her fuck other men, and it's just like that.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I saw
like, that's fantastic stuff.
So I wanted to break this down, like, because this was imagine seeing the girl you love like
get fucked.
You
love her?
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her.
And he asked me what I think about cucking and if it's normal to explore your sexuality and if I've ever tried it. And I said, look, I'm older than you, bro, and I've never tried that. I don't think that's normal. And then he started saying, isn't it normal just to try new things? Don't you think it's normal to be curious? How do you know if you're really gay or not unless you've tried being gay?
What?
And then I realized he was coming on to me.
But like when I was like 14, I thought I was gay. I watched gay porn.
Nigga, you gay.
And when I realized he was coming on to me, I thought the best thing I can do is just not talk to him anymore. Because I don't like this gossip girl stuff. I don't want to be a drama merchant like he is. My brand isn't sitting online and constantly insulting other people like his is. So I thought, let me just cut him off. He's obsessed with me. He's a bit weird. I don't want to ruin the guy's career. Let me just go his own separate way. Since then, he has mentioned me every single day in every single stream he does. Andrew Tate wore a gambling t-shirt. Andrew Tate drove a car. Andrew Tate drunk coffee.
By the way, it's widely known that Sneako does not follow the teachings of the Quran either. He does not. He eats meat during Ramadan. He drinks and does drugs. He is a philanderer. Is that the right word? I mean, he's unmarried. He has no children. He doesn't follow literally any of the tenets of the Quran, but he wants all of his young, impressionable viewers to.
Andrew Tate this, Andrew Tate that. He is obsessed with me. And if you see the way he talks about me, you can see in his eyes. It's not because he is morally superior. It's not because he just wants clicks. It's a homosexual rage.
Oh boy.
Which is suppressed. Guys, I don't like saying this. I feel uncomfortable making this video. I wanted all of this to go away.
Now, also, you must understand that the Quran also teaches Muslims that they don't need to follow their own rules as long as they are infiltrating or, you know, taking over, all this kind of stuff too. Now, you know, he's Muslim LARPing, he's Islam LARPing, he's being gay in private and taking drugs in private. I mean, I believe that to be true. People around him say that. This guy is just on the grift. But, you know, let me know. I guess let me know in the comments if you think he should be. I think he should just willingly go to Saudi Arabia or wherever he thinks is so great. You know, if you want to practice Islam, then go to an Islamic country. I wonder why he stays in America. I'm curious. You know, I don't think the Bible teaches marrying a 6-year-old. I'm not a Bible scholar, so maybe it's somewhere in the appendices. Maybe some way there's some there in the appendix somewhere. Yeah, I don't know, but I've never seen any stories about Jesus marrying a 6-year-old and then being a absolute hero by waiting until she was 9 to consummate the marriage. But I don't know. I'm not, you know, a Bible scholar, so I can't say. I don't know. You know, it's all very new to me. I've just only been going to church since September, and I know about 1% of the Bible, but I don't know. By the way, I want to thank everyone. I want to continue to give massive positive vibes to Rumble. Absolute best platform on earth. Free speech haven. You know, everyone is welcome on Rumble, and I really respect that. And they've been incredibly supportive to creators, including myself. You know, I started out on Rumble long before I ever had any kind of relationship with them because I supported their mission. And now, fast forward to years later, I'm sitting on their homepage right now, and it is incredibly humbling, and it is incredible to see all the moves that Rumble's making behind the scenes, or I guess it's called Rum now, apparently. All the tech moves, all that stuff. I don't understand all of it, but what I know is it helps secure a place for free speech, so I support it. You know, and so I love people. I love that Rumble is here. We're live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Friday mornings. So if you ever, you know, if you're enjoying the show and you happen to be seeing me on the homepage right now, I might not always be on the homepage, so make sure you click through, like it says the corner, click through my video, follow the channel. Also, get involved in the chat. I read the chat, you know, and interact with the chat. And you don't have to do Rumble rants to get read or anything like that. I like to get to know all of my viewers, build a relationship with you. And so that's the best way to do it. Local Wendigo says, I saw a post somewhere that said Psalms is basically King David having a massive panic attack. I haven't stopped thinking about that today. I mean, maybe. I guess I don't know that answer. Yeah, I don't know that answer. You know, that's maybe. Okay, so let's go here. I want to grab this Lance Twig story. Okay. All right, here we go. Do I want to build a snowman? No. Well, actually, it might be kind of cool. It's like 85, 90 degrees or something like that. So it'd probably be fun to build a snowman. You'd probably have to like rapidly build it before it melts. And here in Wisconsin, it's very hot. Most of the country is pretty hot right now. Over in Europe, it's pretty hot right now. So, you know, there's a lot going on. But let's get into this. Tyler Robinson update is a lot. There's a lot to talk about. All right. Well, things are rapidly progressing in the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing in the Charlie Kirk crime, that crime that took Charlie Kirk from us. And just based on the limited evidence that we've seen in the preliminary hearing, it's painting a pretty clear picture. Now, the people that have made it their entire brand over the past 10 months or 11 months to try and poke holes in the quote unquote official narrative, bless their hearts. I think there's a very real amount of truth to like quote unquote Fed slop and not believing the official narrative, because we've been told many things on official narratives, through the years. And I respect that. But I think if you catch yourself calling everything Fed slop or everything even irrefutable facts, like the 20 camera angles of Tyler Robinson at UVU campus, if you're calling that Fed slop, then I think you're beyond saving. And there are a lot of people that put all of their credibility into this. And the thing is, like, what people would have been smart to do is to explore various ideas in the various, alternative theories. I won't even call them conspiracies, instead of presenting them as fact, because now they're all panicking. Even Candace Owens yesterday finally admitted that, in fact, Charlie Kirk was shot, even though she pushed the exploding microphone, the dumbest theory next to the B cult and the trapdoors that I've ever seen. She can't even keep her own lies in any kind of order. She tweeted today, well, he was shot. Wait a minute. I thought you said it was an exploding mic pack. They've made, just because there is like a question about a single photograph does not throw out all the evidence. And I think that's not a healthy way to live. We learned in the trial yesterday, a police officer had an intuition after having a conversation with Tyler Robinson in the morning of the Charlie Kirk assassination. It happened to write down his license plate number. That would end up being key in tracking down Robinson later. That's a pretty big piece of information. Some cop thought, well, he's kind of weird, and he wrote down his plate. We saw the video yesterday of him looking extremely suspicious. Not the first couple times we just walking on campus, but when he returned with the weapon, he looked extremely nervous, extremely guilty, looking around a lot, walking with the weird limp because he had a piece of the weapon in his pants pocket. There are a lot of people out there that are like, well, he never could have done that. There are videos, dozens of videos online of people proving that, yes, you can, in fact, put the stock of a Mauser down your pant leg or whatever you need to. I mean, there's Fed slop, and then there's like ignoring obvious facts. This is the thing that, like, where you can go a little bit too far down the rabbit hole. As of right now, the suspect, we found yesterday that he in fact did interact with Charlie Kirk's group before the assassination. Prosecutors unveiled new videos on Tuesday that said trace the movements of Tyler Robinson across the campus in Utah Valley University in the hours surrounding the conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination there last year. Now, let me point something out too about these videos. People are trying to poke holes in it. Well, it's blurry. I don't really know. I see a lot of people like degrading the photos that we all saw played in court yesterday, and then posting it saying like, this isn't him, even though the actual video is very clear. You can see very obviously it's him. But one thing people who are on the conspiracy like train continue to ignore is what's coming during the actual trial. We can see in the video a very clear outline of Tyler Robinson's cell phone. We know he ate at Chick-fil-A. I don't know how we know he ate there, but I assume he used a credit card because he's not a mass criminal mastermind. Hey, Hucky, there is evidence coming that will tie all of these videos together. People are like, well, I don't know if that's him or not in the video. Don't you think that during the trial, they're going to reveal the cell phone data that shows he was there that day? He had a cell phone on him every time. Even when he drove by the campus again at 12:30 at night, the night after he committed the crime, he had a cell phone with him. So during the trial, they're going to show all this video. Hey, Hucky. They're going to show all this video, and then they're going to layer in all the cell phone footage that tracks his cell phone directly to UVU at the times that match the timestamps on the videos. They're going to track his cell phone back to the car that drove past UVU at 12:30 p.m. that night. People have no idea how much of an absolute slam dunk case this is, and they're absolutely melting down. They're going to show you the security footage, which we already saw yesterday. We're not going to go through it again today. But they're going to marry that up with his cell phone data. I bet this clown used his credit card at Chick-fil-A. How else would they know he ate at Chick-fil-A? And maybe there's video of it, but they didn't show that yesterday. So I'm guessing he used his credit card. So he was on campus. He used his credit card at Chick-fil-A. They have him on video. They're going to have his cell phone coordinates mapped to his locations at the time in which the video surveillance shows. I mean, Tyler Robinson 100% did this. Now, you want to talk about were other people involved, this, that, and the other thing? I'm willing to have that conversation. But Tyler Robinson did this. Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. Tyler Robinson was at UVU. This is beyond a shadow of a doubt. If I can't get you to believe that, then it's a lost cause. The video, his cell phone data will prove it. That's not even including his multiple confessions. His confession, by the way, people said nothing they've shown definitively shows Tyler, even though they've shown multiple videos that it's very clearly him. And by the way, Robert Barnes points out, you know who identified Tyler from the photo stills of the video? His own mother. And by the way, his father is going to testify too. His father is going to testify against him. Lance Twiggs, his lover, testified against him. Well, that video is coming out later today. I mean, what more do you need? And here's what Don Jr. had to say on Fox about it.
Not only honor Charlie's legacy, to support Erica, his parents who were there, seated all in the row with us. It was just important to be there. It's a legacy that really needs to be preserved. The impact that Charlie had on so many Americans, on so many youth, is, frankly, generational. It could have been so much more. But it was important to be there and to see the actual facts laid out, Bill, because there was so much stuff that, amidst the noise and the internet chatter, that was laid out that, I had never heard, and makes this case very cut and dry to me.
So I want to ask you about that. Based on, I'm listening to all the legal analysts who were in court as well, and they're suggesting the evidence is overwhelming. And how did the prosecution? It really is. How did the prosecution?
It is overwhelming. Now, you want to believe that he got MK'd? I'll even listen to that. Brothers and sisters in conspiracy world. We know the look, right? We know the similarities in the type that is Thomas Matthew Crooks and Tyler Robinson. They look like they could be brothers. You want to tell me that they got MK'd into doing it? I'll even listen to that. But we have to agree that he's the guy that pulled the trigger. It's very obvious. If we can't agree at even that, then we can't have a conversation. I'll even listen to your theories that he was paid to do it, or that he was influenced to do it, or that he was groomed into doing it, all this kind of stuff. But he's the guy that pulled the trigger. Much like Thomas Matthew Crooks, I have a lot of questions about him. He just decided one day he was going to try to take out Trump. We've learned virtually nothing about him, and it just went away. Although he appeared in a BlackRock video, I'm sure maybe it's just a coincidence. But I'm not like totally, what the government says it's true. I'm not that hardcore about it. But I'm saying if we want to talk about, the similarities between Tyler Robinson and Thomas Matthew Crooks, I would love to do that. But Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. There is no doubt about it.
This case sound to you in court?
Very strong, and the defense sounded very weak. The defense's only real tactic was seemingly to either stall or try to not admit essentially any evidence whatsoever, because I guess it would be too damning to their client. It was truly crazy. But you see the video. This is someone who lived 4.5 hours south, who importantly, and most people didn't know this, was not a student at Utah Valley University. He came up 4.5 hours away, very distinctly. I guess it was a Dodge Challenger in a car with very distinct rims. So they're able to identify the vehicle. They see him coming in early. He interacts with some Turning Point people, apparently asking them, what was happening here? Who were the speakers? What was the timing? Whatever that may have been, it seems. He then leaves, but he's wearing shorts and a T-shirt. He comes back wearing long pants with a limp that magically somehow developed, is seen on video going up to this rooftop, which was the perfect vantage point to make, this shot. Then jumps off the building carrying...
All of this is captured on video, by the way. All of this is back. All of this is backed by video. And again, we'll see the cell phone data that will map this. Now, so the Grift class is absolutely melting. Now, I don't know who this Baron Coleman guy is, but, and I'm pretty sure the community notes system on X is actually co-opted by the goofball right, I guess I would say, you know, the like Candace Owens people, you know, this guy remains verified and has done, like, he's purposely like degraded photos to try and, you know, stick on this narrative. Candace Owens having a full-blown meltdown on Instagram today. The preliminary hearing completely broke her. Now she's crying out for attention, pretending that Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring are going to assassinate her. She can't stand the truth is coming out. She can't handle the attention not being on her. You know, everybody wake up. What does she put out here? I think she's having a mental breakdown. Ben Shapiro just confessed it on a show while being transported to the hospital, bleeding out. His security. I mean, like, she's just like schizo posting on Instagram. I want to be very clear on my files. Just if anything ever happens to me, I want Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring and their Israeli connections explored thoroughly. Go all the way, Max. What does that mean? That seems like a call potentially for, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what going max is. Is it similar to 86ing? I don't know. Whatever happened that elite hit squad? Didn't she say there was an elite hit squad of French assassins that were coming after her? Yeah, how that ever happened? Oh, by the way, Candace Owens has dropped her exploding microphone theory. Here's another question, guys. It took a while for the video of Charlie being shocked to go viral. Wait, what happened to the exploding mic? These people can't even keep their own lies in order. According to Candace Owens, there was a man and a woman possibly over 6'3" walking around UVU on September 10th, 2025, who passed an individual who stands a minimum of 6'2" and is not Tyler Robinson. I mean, what are we talking about here? Here's Tyler Robinson slunk down. I mean, they are finding every grainy photograph they possibly can. There are people that are presenting the DNA evidence knowingly incorrect. Let me just bring up this guy. I mean, the meltdown is so incredible to watch right now. Here's Baron Coleman again. No community note, because community notes is completely co-opted. 89 to 95% of the DNA on the screwdriver and towel came from Lance Twiggs. That's incorrect. It came from Tyler Robinson. How do I know that? Because they said it.
You testified about Exhibits 7 and 8, that they both had mixtures. Excuse me. Yes, items 7 and 8. In your testing of these items, that they both had mixtures. And you stated, I want to make sure I understood this. You stated, I believe, that the minor contributor was less than 20%, and that it was actually 5%, and the ratio is 5% to 95%.
For one of the samples, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Does that mean the 5% was from Twiggs, and the 95%, that 95% is assumed from the defendant, Robinson?
When I calculated the statistic, Twiggs' DNA profile aligned with the 5% contributor, and Mr. Robinson's DNA profile aligned better with the 95% contributor.
Oops. Literal lie. 12,000 likes, 350,000 views. I mean, the Cope and Seeth, this Trisha Hope, who's a national delegate, the DNA witness yesterday testified the defense absolutely destroyed the DNA evidence. Did that sound like they destroyed it to you? No. I mean, it is the fact that Candace Owens is telling, I mean, I do not believe her vacation this week was a coincidence. I mean, I know viewership is down the week after the 4th of July, this, that, and the other thing. Some creators choose to take the week off. I don't. I'm here. I have a job. Not everyone has off, so I try to work and stay with all of you. And by the way, wherever you're watching, please follow the channel. Leave a like on the video. Follow the channel. I would be greatly appreciative. It's It's hard to find people, and I don't always stream at the scheduled 2 p.m. Eastern time slot. So following or downloading the app, following, and creating this would be, or I'm following the channel would be very helpful. But Candace Owens has completely lost her mind, and all these people have left is just to simply stare at a fact and call it a lie. And then they never actually have to back up anything. Israel, Egypt, France, U.S. military, Brian Harpole, Cabot Williams, Erica Kirk, TPUSA employees, Kash Patel, the FBI, ATF, UVU police, Washington County police, Utah State law enforcement, the judge, a medical examiner, Tyler Robinson's defense, and now today, Ben Shapiro, all evidently Tyler Robinson's own mother, who recognized him from the stills of the video, despite Candace's insistence that the man in the video couldn't possibly be Tyler Robinson. I mean, at some point, it's going to be brutal. And then this is coming today. This is going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. All right, Sandra, let's bring in Fox News contributors and criminal defense attorneys Donna Rotuno and Josh Ritter. Josh, let's begin with you because preliminary hearings, Jonathan Fahey and I were talking about this, they usually last a couple of hours.
Yep.
This is going to go 5 days. What do you make of what we've been hearing so far?
I think it's important. I think they're doing it because they want to make sure like everyone is on board. Like there can be no doubt. You know, if they replay the recording of Lance Twiggs, it's going to be everything. I don't know if we're going to get that or if we're just going to get a transcript of it. I suspect we won't see the actual video of it, but I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
We will at the trial, but I don't know about during the prelim.
Right. Even murder prelims, complicated murder prelims, can last a couple of days, an afternoon. Maybe they bleed over into the next day if they're especially complicated. The fact that this is taking 5 days, and by the way, with the pace that this is going, I think we're going to be lucky if this gets done by Friday because it has been an absolute slog. Part of that is
because they're objecting to everything.
Part of that is the amount of information that the prosecution has, the exhibits that they want admitted. But a lot of that lands at the feet of the defense because they have been objecting to nearly every piece of evidence brought into this case with objections that they've already made in the past and have been ruled on. So it's becoming a very laborious task to get this evidence in. But it is happening. It is revealing. We're seeing a lot of new information we haven't heard about before, and I think it's all making for a very convincing case for the prosecution.
All right, Donna, what struck you so far, and what are you anticipating?
So today we're anticipating this recording of Lance Twiggs, who's going to tell investigators, presumably what he knew at the time of this murder, what he knew before this murder, the communication he had with Charlie Kirk.
Lance Twiggs is going to completely sell him out. I believe Lance Twiggs was involved in the planning of this. I can't prove that, but that's what I believe. And we now know he got some level of qualified immunity, and he's almost certainly going to sell. He's going to sell Tyler Robinson out completely. I would not be surprised if he's suddenly not trans anymore either. I mean, it will be, I think, like many in my chat might think, he's going to plead guilty after today. He's going to plead guilty today, and we're not going to get a full-blown jury trial. That's why I think it's going to be 5 days long. I think his defense team's only goal during this has been to try and get the death penalty off the table. Because remember, Tyler Robinson has not entered a plea yet. So I think he will plead guilty in exchange to try and get the death penalty off the table. That doesn't mean they will do it, but I believe that's the only play for the defense team. The evidence is so overwhelming. We'll have to see. Stay tuned. Make sure you're following the channel because the second we get Lance Twiggs' video, we'll be broadcasting that live, of course, too. Hope you enjoyed this segment, and we'll see you in the next one. Yeah, the quartering loves Fed slop. I mean, if you're calling irrefutable video evidence Fed slop, then I don't have anything for you. I can't fix that level of stupid. You want to talk about, hey, maybe there's people who are, involved in it that I don't know about, or that he was groomed into it, or MK Ultra this. You want to talk about that stuff? Sure. By the way, shout out MFS, and see, I stole that from you in chat. I read the chat even while I'm doing live, so your participation in the chat helps make the videos better, and I'm always so thankful for everyone that's in the chat. I know I make a fool of myself many times, but a lot of times you like live correct me when I'm recording segments, and it's extremely helpful. By the way, if you're watching now live on Rumble, almost 7,500 people. I'm live Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. Please do click through the channel and click follow. Click the green follow button below the video. Click on the video on the homepage. Click the green follow button down below. It is. I would love to see you. You can't always count on being on the homepage, so I would love to see you when we're not. And a huge shout out to the Kids Guide too, by the way. All right, parents, I know the 4th of July is come and gone, but here's something worth thinking about. The fireworks are over, the cookouts are finished, the flags will be slowly coming down, but America's story is still worth teaching. This year marks America's 250th birthday. There's never been a better time to help your kids understand the people, principles, and sacrifices that built this country. That's why I wanted to tell you about a free guide called The Kids Guide to America's 250th birthday. It takes kids back to the birth of our nation, introducing them to the founding fathers, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and the incredible courage it took to fight for the freedoms we enjoy today. Instead of dry history lessons, it's filled with engaging stories, colorful illustrations, and fascinating facts that make learning about America's exciting and memorable. If you want your kids to understand the 4th of July is about more than the fireworks, and it's about freedom, responsibility, and the incredible story of our nation's founding, it's a great place to start. And the best part is you can get the Kids Guide to America's 250th birthday completely free with this special offer. Just cover $2 for shipping and processing. Head on over to freeusabirthday.com. That's freeusabirthday.com to claim your free guide today. The celebration may be over, but America's story is still being written. Make sure the next generation knows how it began. Let's see here. We've got this race war story too, which is actually wild. And by the way, if you're enjoying the show, you can support the show by picking up some of our coffee. We roast our own stuff. We're available exclusively on Amazon as well as on coffeebrandcoffee.com. If you go to buy CBC, that's buy Charlie Bravo Charlie .com, it'll take you directly to our Amazon store, and there you can pick up some of our delicious blueberry. We have Colombian roast, Ethiopian, ultralight roast, a dark roast, a super dark roast, hot butter rum, butterscotch toffee. We have 100% pure Kona, which very few people have out there. Blackberry cream. We have a double calf. Everything's getting checked in. We're doing our best to keep up with the orders, and it may take a little bit of time. Normally it ships free overnight. Most of the stuff is still shipping very quickly. If you're a regular drinker of our brand, we have 5-pound bags available that you save $15 when you buy the 5-pounder, so you can pick those up. And also you can subscribe and save. So if you're a regular drinker of our coffee, click that subscribe and save thing where you save like another 5% off, and it just gets delivered monthly. We're going to be available in Walmart very soon, and hopefully some other places like World Market and stuff like that by the end of the year. So hopefully you'll check that out. We have K-Cups. By the way, everything's available in K-Cup, whole bean, and ground. So I'm hoping that you'll go on over to buycbc.com and support the show. Check out some delicious coffee. And once you get it, please make sure you come back, click on the product you bought, and leave a customer review, because that definitely helps a lot too. But Jeremy, stickers and drop shipping, how could you possibly be in stores? Right, exactly. Well, let me tell you this. If I was drop shipping, I wouldn't be on Amazon either. The profit margins on drop shipping would not be big enough. But there's a quartering extended universe where people believe that, and that's fine. We had our best June ever last June. July has been amazing, although we got a little behind on production because we try to roast everything in the smallest possible batches. I don't want anything sitting on Amazon and getting old, So we got a little behind, but Everything's basically back in stock. We're getting checked in right now. We just sent like 5,000 pounds of coffee last week. We've got another probably 11,000 pounds to go out this week. And once we're on Walmart, that'll be awesome too, because Walmart takes half as much as Amazon does. So basically, my customers can just buy from Walmart and I make an extra $1.50 a bag. Nothing changes. You still probably get free shipping anyway. We still use our box we got from Mother's Day last year. It's damn good. I know the box was good quality. Doesn't help that every twerp with YouTube channel started a drop ship coffee. Yeah, I know. But you know what the thing is? Here's an interesting thing before we get into this other kind of like race war story that's wild. Look at all the people in the last 3 years that have been shilling coffee, okay? How many of them are even still around? How many of them are even still around? It's because they didn't actually build companies. They just slapped their name on somebody else's bag of coffee, you know, and made their $4 a bag and moved on. You know, Tim's still around. But he, Tim has a big audience, and I'm sure his coffee is very good, but it's not as good as mine. We'll say that. And you should have both, by the way. He has some flavors, like he has a low acidity blend that people really like. You know? I don't have that. Where's the pool water? I'm pretty sure I ordered some and I never got it. Maybe I never ordered it. I don't want to put that out there that I ordered and didn't get it, but I feel like I ordered it as a meme, but maybe I didn't. So I'm pretty sure I saw people... I know the pool water is just a meme. It's not like he wanted to make money on that. I'm sure he wasn't making any money on that. Tim's about to open a brick and mortar location. I think he should. Can you brew yours with pool water? I certainly could. Then we both win. I got Coffee Brand Coffee once for Father's Day. It's very good, but I got to watch the budget. I know. Well, I'm hoping that we can lower our prices by like 10% by the end of the year. Once we're in Walmart, I'll be able to buy 5 times as many beans at once. And so you get discounts with volume. I mean, the business is going to explode once we're in there. Like it's going to be very, very, you know, our orders will probably 5x, which means I can get better prices on the green beans and then pass those savings on to the customer. Because I don't love charging $20 a bag and $18 a bag. I want to be closer to like $15.99. You know, even that's still kind of expensive compared to like Folgers or something like that. But I want to be closer to like $15.99, $16.99 a bag instead of $18. And once I buy more quantity, I'll be able to do that. I'm fine with my profit margins as they are now. So I'm happy to just pass those savings on to the customers. You should drink it while I'm streaming. I drink it in the morning when I get up. I've been up since 7. Dang, now you want coffee? Well, go to buycbc.com. Take you right there. I'm poor. I have Folgers when it's on sale. Hey, I get it. But you know what you got to remember? Folgers makes, I don't know, 1 million pounds a day. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever considered doing a Trump roast? No. The reason it's called Coffee Brand Coffee is because I wanted to build a brand without a political connection. I want, you know, my greatest day will be to see some normie buying it in a store who's never heard of my YouTube channel, who's never heard of anything about me. You know, that's why I didn't want to. I think the biggest mistake content creators make when they start brands is they tie the brand to themselves. And like content creation, streaming is a really small window. So like if I had called, like, look at all those crappy meme coffees that came out. Remember Coffee Coffee? That's done. You know, all those like liberal tears coffees and stuff like that. It's all gone because like you know, times change. So that's why I went with like literally, you know, isn't BRC about to go out of business? I don't know. I hear conflicting things. I'm good friends with the guys who run Black Rifle Coffee, and and as like business people, they have looked out for me. They have given me great business advice. They've given me great connections. They're, you know, they've been really good to me. You know, they know we don't compete for the same customer. So like at a moment's notice, I could call either one of those guys and ask them a question about the business, and they're 100% always open to talk to me about it. So, you know, so I you know, they know we're not competing for the same customer. So, but I would say that Black Rifle Coffee has the same exposure as a political brand, right? Like that America military guns brand thing is like, you know, times change. Maybe that thing, you know, things won't be like, people won't be into that in a few years, and then things will be tough. But I've got nothing bad to say about Black Rifle because they have always looked out for me. When I was looking at buying a K-Cup machine, they're the guys I called. You know, when I was looking at using, you know, deciding between, you know, basically we roast the coffee. The way you have to make your K-Cups in the beginning is you roast all the coffee and you send it to like one of 3 places in the country that has, you know, a K-Cup machine, a boxing machine, because they're very expensive. And, you know, when I was at that stage of the business, they were like, here's the 3 people we used to use when we were your size. And here's what we paid so you can negotiate. You know what I mean? Like they looked out for me. So I always have nothing but good things to say about them. I'll try to get someone to show us at Walmart. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'll have to change the price. What's the Walmart price? Like, what all their prices ended? 94 cents or 97 cents or something like that. Whatever I have to change the Walmart price to, I'll match across all platforms. I don't know if it's a rule. I don't know if it's a rule, but it seems like everything there ends in like, you know, everything ends in whatever, 94 cents or 84 cents or 87 cents or something like that. I'm not totally sure. Jeremy, do you have a mod on YouTube? I normally don't even stream to YouTube. Today I accidentally did. I'm Rumble exclusive. So if you happen to be watching on YouTube, move over to Rumble, rumble.com/thequartering. I have no connection with Jeremy. I will say CBC is some of the smoothest coffee I've ever had. Really, really good stuff. If you're a Cuban coffee snob like me, you'll agree. Yeah, I mean, all the people who have strong critiques for my coffee have never tried it. You know, it's not dropship trash I just slap my name on like a lot of people want to think it is. You know, every flavor is meticulously dialed in by me and usually 5 to 10 other people. The 100% Kona is my personal favorite. Well, buy it while it lasts because I'm only going to have it until I'm out of it. I don't want to be in the market of $50 bags of coffee. Our Kona is incredible. It's amazing. There are very few Kona coffees on Amazon that aren't a blend. And, you know, straight from Hawaii. I had to buy the beans from Hawaii. Ship to my roaster. Like, I'm in the bean market. Like, anybody who thinks my stuff's dropship, like, I could pull up the Excel spreadsheet right now and show you what, you know, how you have to navigate buying beans, and you buy them in advance, and, you know, all it's like a stock market that I have to buy beans on. I want to try a buttery toffee popcorn type flavor in my coffee. Well, we have toffee flavored coffee, but I don't know if the popcorn, you know. Anyway, enough about the coffee. Hope you guys will go buy cbc.com, pick some up today, and then once you get it, leave a review. We're redoing all of our listings. We're adding like 8 new lifestyle photos to everything, so hopefully people will have better conversion rates, stuff like that. Can you do that? Or maybe on your vlog channel, a spreadsheet would clear up a lot. No, I don't really have anything to prove to anybody. The fact that I even know how it's done proves I do it. Have you ever beans? Yeah. Black Rifle is trying to be neutral politics-wise. I mean, look, hey, obviously I compete with them for people's dollars for coffee, but not at this. I mean, it's like saying a lemonade stand competes with Country Time Lemonade. Like, they don't care about me in the market. I don't care about them in the market. We have our own customers, you know. You have Kona, new customer, woohoo, yep. Yeah. If you go to buycbc.com, you can pick up, it's 100% Kona. Beans I bought from Hawaii. Extremely expensive. I'm basically selling it at my cost because, you know, I wanted to have it, but yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. I think I have 5,000 pounds left. 4,500 pounds left is what I have. So, do I have a sample pack? No. I'm looking into it. I'm going to do a sample pack on K-Cups. So, the packaging is the problem with the samples. So, what I did was I designed a 24 count K-Cup box that I will have 4 flavors in. Here's a question. Then we'll get to the story. To me, if I was picking 4 flavors to put in my K-Cup sampler pack, it'd have to be blueberry cobbler. That's just, you know, home run flavor. Probably strawberries and cream because that's another home run flavor. But should I include like our standard medium or dark roast, or should I just make it 4 flavors? That's one thing I'm stuck on. Because if I don't put a regular flavor in it, then people who don't like, you know, it's only flavored coffee drinkers will buy it. But it's like, you know, my Colombian roast, it's good. It's good. But it's like, there's a billion people who sell Colombian coffee. There's like 3 people on earth that sell blueberry cobbler. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I just do 4 flavors in the multi-pack, or do I do 3 flavors in our standard medium roast so that there's something in there for people that don't like flavors? Do 2 options, 1 of all flavors, and then 1 with, do 2, 1 flavored, 1 regular. 2 different boxes. Yeah, I think Nova is right. 4 flavors stand out. Because really flavored coffee is my niche, to be honest. Like, I know our Colombian's great. Our Ethiopian's incredible. But like, I'm competing against a billion Ethiopian coffees and Colombian coffees and dark roast coffees. I'm not competing against many blueberry cobblers or butterscotch toffee. I'm not competing against any vanilla sugar cookies. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Focus on what you're good at flavored. Yeah, you're probably right. Just do 4 flavors. I know when we did the advent calendar, my wife appreciated the regular coffee in there over the flavored. I know, that's the thing. That's the thing. By the way, you guys recommended we do a pecan flavor, and I'm testing. I've tested like 7 different mixes so far, blends. I wasn't blown away yet. It usually takes 10 or 20 before I'm satisfied with it, but we will try that. All right, let's get into this. I hate flavored coffee, so a variety of regular roast plus Kona would be killer. Kona and a K-Cup would be insane. But yes, include a regular. It's the only way I would even buy a variety pack. What I would love to, what I'd rather do is do like 24 pack sampler, like 1 of everything we sell, but for production, it's impossible. 4 flavors, but add your other options on the packaging. Or maybe I do a flavored combo and a non-flavored combo. Because I could do our Ethiopian, our Colombian, our Silky Ultra Dark Roast, and maybe 1 flavor or something like that. Maybe I could do that. Do you have Blue Mountain? No. It's very expensive. Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee is out of my price range. Kona's out of my price range. I can't do build your own sampler because I have to buy 10,000 boxes at a time. And the way the K-Cup machine works, like runs of 6 are easy. So I would do like, you know, 5,000 runs of 6 of 1 flavor, 5,000 runs of 6 of another, 555, and then I'd have I can't have the customer pick the combo. When I did fulfillment myself, that was easy. So when I did fulfillment myself, you could basically build your own sampler pack. But it just became too much overhead to do. Do you have a nice, smooth, black only roast? I would try our silky ultra dark roast. It's more of like a Robusto. It's very, very good. I think Chad is right that I probably just have to stick to the flavors because that's what we sell best. And then maybe if that sampler pack for flavors work good, then I'll do a sampler pack of non-flavors. You know, they didn't list Kona on the site. Yeah, it's right here. If you go to buy CBC, it's right here. Scroll down. It's the red bag. Right here. 100% Kona. All right, here we go. So all of the grift, the race grift that's been going on around Karmelo Anthony had to find a new home because obviously he was found guilty beyond any reasonable amount of doubt. And this country has an appetite for race division. It has an appetite for, quite frankly, from members of the culture, there's a large percent of them that have an immense amount of animosity towards, well, white folks. I mean, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying there's a large percentage of them. Leave a like on the video if you agree. Well, there's this case of Nolan Wells, a teen football player who passed away on a 4th of July party trip with his friends. Absolutely nothing about this case would indicate that any foul play happened, but that doesn't matter to the grift. You see this individual, ruse last fix. So this 18-year-old boy went out boating with his, quote, friends yesterday. Everyone made it back safely except for him. Y'all know exactly which one it is. Yes, the only black boy doesn't add up. So 4 teenage friends who are all friends, who are consuming alcohol underage. I can see right there, it's very clearly a high noon. They're all consuming alcohol on a boat, underage. He drowned. That's what happened. He got probably too intoxicated and he drowned. But this tweet implies that, well, they took his life simply because they're white. 186,000 likes. 186,000 likes. It has also spawned all sorts of insane, like, fear tweets from people on this grift saying the same thing, like, well, if you're the only black person in your group of friends, then you should not do it. You should get out of that. It's dangerous. That's literally the narrative that has been going around ever since this happened. And again, based on what? We could look at the fascinating behavior of the culture. Where do you think a young black male is safer? Here or with 3 well-to-do white friends on a boat? You know, this narrative, and you could look online. I had a tweet that also had like hundreds of thousands of friends or likes too, that said something like, you know, if you're the only black guy in your group of friends, then you gotta get out of that. It's bad. Here, black parents, here's 38,000 likes, a million views. Black parents really need to have a conversation with their children about being the only black kid in a group of friends. It's not safe. Well, statistics would argue with you, docket diva, that the number one safest place a young black male could be hanging out with is 3 white friends. But that wouldn't stop Ben Crump, race grifter in chief, getting on this case. We have been retained by the family of Nolan Wells, a beloved son and teammate and friend who went out to celebrate the 4th of July and, by the way, was drinking underage on a boat. Come on. This happens all the time. The police have said there's no foul play here at all. But that doesn't stop the narrative. The narrative must continue. Evil white people. The wide receiver in South Mississippi Community College was preparing to return for upcoming football season and would have turned 19. His family deserves answer. He drowned. Why? By the way, why would his three white friends participated in the search for him? We will not rest until every fact about what happened to Nolan on Horn Island is brought to light. And we call on investigators to pursue this case with urgency and transparency. The family, there's nothing here. Nothing happened. Nobody doubted that you'd push your way into this. Retained by who? You mean you begged your way in? Here's Tanner Boga saying, I'm a friend of Nolan's. I'm so tired of all the terrible theories. I can assure you, we were in a large friend group of about 15 boats, any of which would have brought him home. My cousins didn't leave their spot or the island until 7:30. Everybody loved Nolan. It's also not uncommon for people to simply ride home on a different boat when you have that many friends and vessels around. By the way, totally true. 100% true. I have a few buddies that went home on different boats they didn't ride in on. People just read the headlines and act like this was just 4 dudes going out to a remote island and only 3 coming back. That's a huge party area. This is what it looks like on the holiday weekend. So you see this island, you see, I don't know, about 100 boats. Everybody knows everybody. You go on the island, you drink underage, you party, you do what kids do. Again, maybe if he wasn't drinking, he wouldn't have drowned. But that's what happened. I mean, there is no doubt. Police have not found any evidence of a crime. But again, that won't stop the machine. That won't stop the machine. The machine is saying, well, he was hanging out with 3 white guys, so obviously they took his life. Jackson County Sheriff tells TMZ investigators have interviewed several of Nolan's friends and other witnesses as detectives work to piece together 18-year-old's final hours. Ledbetter says every single piece of information investigators have gathered so far indicates that no crime has taken place. He cautions investigation remains active and tells us that assessments could change if new evidence comes to light. I've seen people photoshopping and making AI videos of these young white boys who are being targeted for no reason whatsoever, with like blood on their face and this, that, and to claim they were fighting. It's all complete nonsense, completely made up for the grift. The sheriff tells us detectives are continuing to interview additional witnesses, also sorting through a barrage of emails, texts, and social media tips from people claiming to have information. Again, here's a video. A video is circulating on TikTok from Horn Island on the 4th of July where you can hear arguing from a group of people on the beach. Well, then obviously this proves this guy's friend by the way, look at all the black folks that are there. Here's a white guy making out with a black chick. There's nothing here. But they slow it down. They put the spooky music on it or whatever. I don't know. But there's literally no evidence, but hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets on these things that are just saying, well, obviously he's black, so the white people killed him. One major focus is a viral video making the rounds appears to show a group of people arguing on Horn Island. Yeah, that never happens when alcohol's involved. And by the way, they may not have even been arguing. They could just be loud talking, which drunk people do. Ledbetter say investigators are trying to determine exactly what happened in the clip and whether it has any connection to Nolan's passing, but at this stage, simply don't know. Authorities are now asking anyone with original videos or other documentations. Again, till the next time, man. Truly heartbreaking. Rest in peace. You know, here's a post here. I really do feel like it's a shame. Have to address this. The post I made was to pay my respects to my friend and honor his memory. The people making ignorant comments are cruel to everyone who loved the man, but that's between you and God. Ledbetter also notes that there's no surveillance cameras anywhere on the Horn Island, making firsthand evidence especially valuable. As TMZ reported, Nolan's body was found Monday after he disappeared during a 4th of July trip on Horn Island. In the days since, his family has retained powerhouse loser Ben Crump to push for a full investigation. And of course, the grift has begun for GoFundMe. $238,000 raised by what all reasonable evidence points to a young man getting drunk and drowning. A tragedy. Okay, it sucks. It happens every year. It happened in Pewaukee Lake, 10 minutes from my house on the 4th of July, too. Or maybe the 3rd. People get drunk, they fall off a boat, they bonk their head, and they drown. It happens thousands of times a year in this country. You're combining underage drinking. Not that it couldn't happen if he was of age. But, like, money. Someone died. Money, please. Money, please. Somebody died. Money, please. I do not feel sorry for Nolan Wells. If you're a black person and you look around your friend group and you're the only black person and you're okay with it, I think from that point, whatever happens to you happens to you. Why? What? I don't even understand that. And it was at the same time, how can you trust another black person that would only want to be around white guys as a friend? Probably because they were all on the same football team, you absolute clown. They were friends. They took pictures together. They searched for his body in the aftermath.
Happening right now, Jackson County authorities are seeking any pictures or video taken on Horn Island this weekend that could help answer questions about what happened.
These white boys' only crime was being friends with a black guy, by the way, a black boy. Just so we're clear, this is why race relations are probably worse than ever right now. They're at least as, that's probably not a fair statement, but they're as worse now than in my entire life.
To Nolan Wells. The Jackson County coroner says it could be a couple of weeks before we know the cause of death of the 18-year-old. The coroner says dental records confirmed today the body recovered Monday off Horn Island is Wells, but results from the tests done during today's autopsy by the state medical examiner will take many days to come back. Wells was reported missing after visiting Horn Island with a group of friends on the 4th of July. His family is now grieving their beloved son and a life gone too soon. Brandy McGill shows us how
it sucks.
Nolan Wells is being remembered.
He's being remembered as a cash cow for all these people in on the race grift. You know, his own mother said his friends help with the search, right? I mean, it is. I mean, this is a perfect example. Here's a TikToker, okay, that's going around and asking black folks who he presumes is hanging out with white folks if they're okay.
Hey, Black King, you okay? All right, just checking in on you. I just didn't want to know if these white people harassing you or not.
By the way, that other guy is black. I mean, that other guy is black, by the way.
My daddy black and you walk on. Your daddy black? Yeah, nigga. Walk off. Who gonna walk off? You. No, I ain't gonna walk
Shuffle.
off.
Well, you walk, hey, I mean, really, that's my boy, so you talking that shit, you gonna walk the fuck off.
I'm not.
Dude, bro.
Yeah.
Do what?
Stop, man. Don't reach
Do
at
what?
your purse, motherfucker.
Do what?
Don't reach it. You heard what I said, nigga.
Do what?
Move around.
I ain't gonna move around.
De-escalate. Leave it alone, Twan. Leave it alone.
Bro, you don't know me, bro.
You don't know me.
I'm saying so. What? I'm telling you, bro. You don't know me, bro.
I'm telling you don't know me either, nigga. You got that shit on your teeth, don't mean shit.
Okay.
You are, nigga.
All right.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now what? I'm still here.
No, but keep on talking. You won't be.
I'm gonna still be here.
Only reason I'm stopping because of him.
Oh, okay, black brother. That's crazy.
My brother. Nah, that's not crazy.
I came to check in on you.
Y'all need checking on, nigga.
Oh,
You don't know me.
Oh, okay.
You don't know me.
All right.
Juan, sit. You don't know me, nigga.
Oh, what?
Again, the content is he's going around looking for any black folks who happen to be hanging out with white folks and be like, "Are you okay?" It is absolutely pathetic, and it is all driven by this right here. Money. Absolute clown world. I don't have any... I'm like, look, I live in the suburbs. I don't know a lot of black folks. I have a couple that I would call acquaintances. I have no issues at all, like, being friends. And if I was sitting in this position, I wouldn't feel bad for me. I'd feel bad for my friend. Like, why is my friend taking heat for hanging out with me? You know, if these people want to bring back segregation, fine by me. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Like, it is a economy of division. That's all this is. It's just about dividing everybody, making us hate each other, and it's just sad. And with that, I think we'll wrap up today's stream. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 Eastern with Melanie Mack, so I hope to see you then. I hope you had a wonderful stream. I'm going to send you over to Viva Fry right now, who's examining, he's a lawyer, he's examining the Tyler Robinson case, so worth checking him out, and we'll see you tomorrow.